What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I recently hit 1,000 subscribers. Woohoo! And I wanted to do kind of like a get to know me, because I feel like a lot of people have followed me from TikTok and don't really know anything about me other than that I like to needlepoint. I get a lot of questions about what I do for work and how I can afford the hobby and just other things. So I thought it would be fun to do this. I didn't ask for any questions on Instagram or anything, so I just asked ChatGPT to tell me like what people usually talk about in a get to know me video and like what questions were good to do. I guess first, this is Schweetz. She is my 4-year-old mini dachshund. She's wire haired, which is why she doesn't look like your classic dachshund, and people often think she's like a terrier or a mix or something, but no, she is just a wire haired dachshund, and she is like soul dog, love of my life status, if you couldn't tell. So let's get into it. I am 28. I live in Northern Virginia. I just bought a house in Fairfax last August. So in August, it'll be a year since I've owned my house. I grew up in this area, but I've lived in a few different places in my life. So I grew up in Virginia, a little bit in Georgia, and then I went to school at Penn State. And then I think I'm gonna stitch while we do this, otherwise it's just me staring at the camera. So I went to Penn State and I studied finance there. I had a finance internship in Philly, which, I think finance and Philly were just not for me. Sweets, don't eat them. Just smell them. And so after that, I was kind of like, all right, well, I don't really know what I want to do with my life, because I thought I wanted to do business. So then when I was applying for jobs, I found a program where basically it didn't matter what your undergrad degree was in. You could like become a software engineer through the program. So I started that program right out of college. I actually graduated in 2020 during the pandemic. So my job was hybrid for a while, and I lived in St. Louis for a little bit, lived in Indiana for a little bit, and then came back to Virginia. And I've been a software engineer now for, in August, it'll be 6 years. So I really like it. I think it allows me to live the kind of life that I want to live, and I'm so grateful for that. And I've met some friends through working there, and yeah, my job is still hybrid. So like back when I started, it was like none of it was in person because it was like height of COVID. But now I do like maybe 2-ish days in the office. So that's kind of like work stuff and where I'm from. My hobbies outside of YouTube, obviously needlepoint, mahjong, I like to bake, I like to read. Pets, we already did pets. Random fact that would surprise people. Schweetz, do I have any random facts that would surprise people? I don't know about that. I mean, I don't drink, which I guess is a fun fact. I did in college, and then I stopped. So in October, I'll be 7 years alcohol free, which is super exciting. Okay, this is fun. Favorite TV show? I watch a ton of TV. So I do like all of the reality shows. So I do like all the Bravo stuff, it's okay, Schweetz. So I watch like almost all of the Real Housewives, and recently started watching this season of Love Island, which isn't as good as the past 2 seasons of Love Island. They were way better. I'm hoping this one's gonna get better, but you know, we'll see what happens there. Obviously, Summer House, Southern Charm, Southern Hospitality, all of those. I watch Below Deck, Med, and Below Deck, but I haven't watched Sailing Yacht, and I heard I actually should, so maybe I'll start that at some point. I watch a lot of YouTube. I really like to watch Kenzie Elizabeth. I watch Danielle Carolyn. I actually watch the Pennyland podcast on YouTube, and then I watch the Toast podcast, but now you can watch the video on Spotify. So I do that. The video used to only be on YouTube, but I watch it on Spotify now. Favorite movie? Well, Schweetz' name is actually from Wreck-It Ralph, so I would say my favorite movie is Wreck-It Ralph. I also love Safe Haven. That's a really great movie. All those ones by, who's that author? I don't know, those are all really good, like Dear John and all of those. What's my favorite book? That's hard. Probably Icebreaker. I love reading the hockey smut. I've read part of the Off-Campus series, so seeing that show was obviously like so fun. I hope the Icebreaker series will have a show too, because I think that would be so good. I read all 3. I've been reading a lot of historical fiction recently. I run a book club at my job, and we used to read like nonfiction books about women in tech, and honestly they got kind of boring and repetitive, so we started doing historical fiction. We just finished The Rose Code, which was actually really good. And obviously The Nightingale is a fabulous book if you haven't read that one. Alright. My favorite travel destination, Charleston, hands down. Ever since maybe like middle school, my family started going to Charleston, and we would go like every summer. And since I've been an adult, like I still love going there. I went with my parents earlier this year, and then I stayed after with Schweetz, just the 2 of us, and like it was just the best. I think as of right now, that's my ideal retirement location, because you have like so many different beach destinations, but then there's like the downtown shopping area, which has the cutest shop, the cutest vibe, the warm weather, just everything. I love it there. So definitely Charleston. And then I go to New York a lot to visit my sister. She lives there with her husband. So obviously I have a place to stay, which is really nice. I'm not a huge city girl. I mean, I'm not a huge country girl either, but I don't love being like downtown in the city, because it's kind of a lot. But I can handle it for a weekend, and like going to visit her and shopping or going to a sports game or a concert or something. Those are definitely the things that I love to do in the city. Favorite music artist? I love pop and country. So country, I love Megan Maroney, Ella Langley, Morgan Wallen, Dan and Shay, Kenny Chesney, all of them. And then pop, obviously Taylor Swift, Olivia Rodrigo, Sabrina Carpenter, all of those kind of vibes. I also love the Chainsmokers. I saw them at Rodeo Houston a few years ago, and it was so amazing. Like, they have this one album that not a lot of people know about. The song Paris came off of it, and honestly I think that's the worst song on the album. Like, all the other songs are so good. I have them on vinyl because it's just that good. Okay, favorite holiday, Christmas. my love language is giving and receiving gifts. So the fact that that's like something that the holiday about is obviously something that I enjoy. I also love the decor. I decorate my house for all of the different holidays. So right now I have some like patriotic Americana stuff up because of Memorial Day, 4th of July, and I'll probably, I don't know if I'll leave it up through Labor Day because I like to get an early start on my fall decor, but yeah. Favorite way to spend a day off? Taking a nap, needle pointing, watching TV, hanging out with Schweets, like shopping on my phone, not leaving my house, watching football. Okay, question specific to YouTube. Why did you start your channel? So I noticed that like my favorite thing to watch on YouTube is needlepoint content, and I don't feel like there's a lot of needlepoint content on YouTube. And so I figured I should make the content that I want to see. So like the needlepoint week in my life videos, less so tutorials. I don't really do like a ton of tutorial stuff because I feel like I've only been stitching for like 2 years. So I don't think, and I'm also not like a teacher of any sort. So I think I'll leave the tutorials to other people, but I like to do the week in my life and show like what I'm stitching and all of that. What are my goals for the channel? I mean, obviously I want to grow the channel, and since hitting 1,000, like that's been really exciting, and I was able to monetize. So that just means like when people watch the ads, like I make a few cents, which is nice. Yeah. Rapid fire questions: coffee or tea? Tea. I drink a chai latte every single day. Morning person or night owl? I hate this question. It's a really hard question for me because my answer is kind of neither. I like to sleep. If I could sleep for 12 hours every night, I would be a very, very happy person. I used to be a morning person, like all through school. I was more of a morning person, but ever since I started like a real person job, I struggle to wake up in the morning, but I'm definitely not a night owl. Like I do not stay up late. So I guess I'd be more of a morning person than a night person, but really I'm neither. Beach or mountains? Beach, 100%. Sweet or savory? Sweet. I eat something sweet after every single meal. Like I need a Kit Kat or a piece of cake or a cookie or something. Like I am always eating something sweet. Dogs or cats? Obviously dogs. Introvert or extrovert? I think that's a hard question because I feel like I'm more of an introvert, but you're probably like, Tatum, you're on YouTube, like sharing your life, you're an extrovert. I think I'm one of those extroverted introverts where like I don't get energy from like being out and being social. I kind of recharge by being at home and being by myself. My family calls it Tatum time. Tatum time is when I'm just like, basically I'm off my phone for like hours on end, just like crafting or reading a book or doing things that make me happy, but just like not talking to anybody. But I think when I am in social situations, like when I am in social situations, like I can be a little bit more extroverted, like getting to know people. All right, summer or winter? Summer all the way. I definitely have seasonal depression in the winter. It's like so hard when the weather is bad, it's cold out, like I don't want to go anywhere or do anything. I really thrive in the summer when I can like be outside or tan or read a book, any of that stuff. Like absolutely love. Texting or calling? Definitely texting. My family makes fun of me because I don't like to be on the phone. But I will, like my friends FaceTime me, like I'll answer and talk to them, but it's not like my first choice of communication. Cooking at home or eating out. I'm gonna go in between and say ordering in. I think it's hard, like when you live by yourself, you don't want to waste all this time making some like big ass meal that only one person's gonna eat, but also you obviously can't afford to eat out like every single night. All right, needlepoint specific questions. How did you get into needlepoint? I think it was actually Kenzie Elizabeth. I've followed her for a really long time, and she started to get into it, and I was like, I'm a crafty girl, like that looks like fun, let me just try it out. So I did, and I immediately, what are you doing over there? I immediately fell in love, and no, you're not doing that. I fell in love with it, and honestly haven't put it down since. I've taught like all of my friends, my mom and my sister needlepoint now, so really like created my own community of people around me to needlepoint alongside me. How long have you been stitching? 2 years. What was your very first project? It was actually a Morgan Julia blueberry pie canvas, and I turned it in for professional finishing, so it actually doesn't look that bad. And then my second was this thing of sprinkles, and I used some neon rays, and I didn't know anything about like laying your thread, so that definitely looks like a little bit jacked up, but I think it's cool to look back at your old projects and see how much you've grown, because the things I do now look so different than they used to. Like, there's no question that I've grown as a stitcher and learned different stitches, different techniques. Like, I love to do beading and decorative stitches, just all sorts of stuff. And these days I'm really into variegated threads. If you couldn't tell, I'm using one right now. But oh, what's the favorite thing you've ever stitched? People ask me that sometimes, and I think that's a hard question, because it's like, did I have the most fun stitching it, or is it like my favorite the way that it looks finished? Like, I think you can answer the question in multiple ways. I think the coolest thing I've ever done was last Christmas. I did Christmas crackers for my whole family, and I did gusseted finishes for them, so they look like actual Christmas crackers. I think those definitely look the coolest. I also love, last year I did a pumpkin canvas in all very velvet, and then turned it into the finisher to be a pillow, so I absolutely love that one. I don't know, the ones I have the most fun stitching are probably like a 13 mesh one. Like, obviously those go by quicker and are just like a good vibe. I also love anything that's in a series, so like the My Pink Sugar Life people that I love to stitch. I got a question recently, how do you know if something is a part of a series? And I just look up like the artist and see if they have others that are similar to that. Sometimes on like a designer's Instagram, they'll show like a picture of all of them at once, or like release multiple at once. So I would say just like looking online, you can see that. And I'm definitely a seasonal stitcher. I think it is so fun. Like, all of the like football stitching and fall stitching, like that is such a vibe for me. Like, at Valentine's Day, I want to be stitching like pink and red things. At Christmas, obviously Christmas stitching. So I think the summer is the one where I kind of like, yeah, I do a little bit of patriotic stitching, and I'm doing more this year because of the 250th. but over the summer I'll do like just projects that I've been wanting to do more so than like a seasonal stitch. What's my favorite stitch? My favorite stitch is T-stitch. I think it is so fun to do. I know some people think that it's like a little bit lazy or something, but I just love the way that it looks, and I think it's fun to do, and I'm just gonna keep doing it because it makes me happy. But I've been doing a lot of diagonal mosaic recently. I like a Nabucco. I haven't really done any like Bargello stitches, but I feel like in order to do that you have to have like a bigger surface area to do. What stitch do you avoid? I don't know that I avoid any stitches. I mean, there's some stuff that I might like not be in the mood to do all the time. Like if I'm working on a canvas that I need to do like turkey work or beading or something, I'm not always in the mood to do that. So I'll like put it aside for a little bit and then keep doing it. How many works in progress do you have right now? Honestly, probably 10. I'm doing a lot right now. Just every time I go to needlepoint, I feel like the things that I have going aren't bringing me happiness, so I start something new. So I definitely have a lot at the moment. Your favorite fibers? I absolutely love jumbuck. Like I said, I'm in my like variegated fiber era, so that definitely fits in with that. And I feel like it's easy to use. I'm not like ripping it to pull it through. It's just, I really enjoy stitching it. Other favorite fibers, obviously Very Velvet is like a dream to stitch with. Bradley Silk, which as of right now you can only get at needlepoint.com in Raleigh or Charleston. I absolutely love Bradley Silk. It's similar to Pepper Pot, which I really like Pepper Pot, but it's just maybe like a little bit thinner and a little bit smoother, and I feel like I can tell the difference when I'm stitching with it. What's your dream canvas? So I actually bought an advent calendar canvas from Kate Dickerson probably a year ago maybe. The thing is huge. So it has like 24 18 mesh canvases and then one massive 13 mesh canvas. And so how you finish it is like you make it magnetic, and then like the 18 mesh ones like you put in the spots on the 13 mesh one. I haven't started it yet because first, the 13 mesh piece like definitely intimidates me. I think I could whip through the 18 mesh ones pretty quickly, because they're not like all that big. But the 13 mesh one, like I don't like to work on scroll bars, and I haven't really decided how I would stitch that one yet. So I haven't started on that, but that's definitely like my dream. And once I have that finished, like I don't really worry about things being like an heirloom piece, but that to me is something that I want to like be passed down in my family, and you know, something that I really want to be like special and nice. So I just haven't started that one yet, and I don't know when I'm going to, and I don't want to pressure myself to do it, but I definitely want to do that someday. My needlepoint goals for this year. Interesting. I don't know what my needlepoint goals are for this year. I'd have to think about that. I mean, for the past few years, I've done needlepoint ornaments for my whole family for Christmas, so I would like to do that again this year. I haven't had inspiration yet on what canvases I would like to do for that, so I haven't started. What else would I like to do this year? I don't know, I think I'm trying to finish, like capital F finish a lot of things so that I can put them on my seasonal tree that I have in my kitchen. So I think just like as I'm finishing things, trying to capital F finish them as well, so that I can actually like see my needlepoint on a daily basis. How do you balance stitching with work and life? Okay, that's actually an interesting question because people always say to me that I'm a really fast stitcher, and they always ask like how I get so much done. And every week, like, you know, on my WIP Wednesdays, my Finish Fridays, I always have a lot to share. I think part of it is that I live alone. Like, I don't, you know, have a boyfriend, I don't have kids, so I'm not really like splitting my time with that. As soon as I finish work, like, I'll make myself dinner really quick and then I'm stitching for like, I don't know, 3 or 4 hours before I go to bed. And then on weekends, if I'm not like traveling or doing anything, then I'm pretty much spending maybe like 8 hours a day needlepointing. So, I mean, I definitely spend a lot of time doing it. But I don't feel like my goal is to like move fast with it. Obviously, like, I want what I'm stitching to be beautiful, so I'm not like trying to move quickly through it. I think I also do a lot of smaller projects because they just make me happy, and I think the feeling of finishing something really like keeps me motivated and makes me feel good. So I do a lot of, you know, rounds and smaller things. What are your favorite needlepoint shops? Ugh, what a good question. Needlepoint.com, love that store, is so big. They have so much thread. I think part of it is because they don't sell their thread online, so they have a lot in store, and the store is just so big. There's so much room. You don't feel like you're like crawling over people in there, and they have those tables that like you can put your project down on and like move them around. So I really love needlepoint.com. Obviously, it doesn't hurt that it's in Charleston, and I love Charleston. And then obviously Penny Lynn is just like amazing. Like, if you haven't been to either Penny Lynn store, like, they're just an experience like no other. Just like luxury needlepoint. Stitch Stash in Rehoboth is also a personal favorite. So much thread, modern canvases. The shop isn't huge, but she has like every thread you could ever name, she has there, which, as someone who loves to use like different threads and try out different things, I love going to her store and just like kitting a canvas in a thread that I couldn't get living here. My LNS here, that was a mosquito. I really don't want to get a mosquito bite. That would ruin my week, and my week hasn't even started because it's a Sunday night. Oh, needlepoint stores. My LNS here is Waste Not Needlepoint. I try to go like once a week. I haven't been recently just because I feel like I've been going on a lot of trips and to other stores, so I have a lot of kitted projects right now that I need to work my way through. As far as my stash is huge. I haven't counted recently, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's north of like 250. And I don't know if I want to share my stash online because I just feel like people are so judgy, and they're like, you're never gonna stitch all of those canvases, like, how do you have the money for all those canvases? And it's like, queen, my money is none of your problem. How I want to spend my money has nothing to do with you. So I don't know that I really want people to be like shading my stash when like I buy the canvases that I want, and that's how I like to spend my money. It may seem like I've been traveling a lot this year, but I actually don't travel a ton. Like, I like to spend my money on needlepoint, and that's what I like to do. Next question is, what are your favorite designers? Or I guess, who are your favorite designers? I love My Pink Sugar Life. I love Magnolia Needlepoint. Cece and the Bug makes some really cute ones. Studio Stitch. Kate Dickerson. Kate Dickerson is for sure one of my favorite designers. I think her stuff is classic and beautiful, and I love it. Coco Frank, obviously the LaPointe Village. I've stitched 2 of the LaPointe Village, the bakery and the needlepoint shop. I have the bookshop. I just need to stitch it. Let me think. I'll go through the things that I've recently... Oh, Ivy Thread. I love Ivy Thread. The Tiny Animals Club is the best thing I've ever subscribed to. The amount of happiness I get every month when that box comes in, it means so much to me. I love it. You should look it up if you're thinking about like doing a subscription. I think it's so great because they're not that big. They're like maybe this big. They come with all the thread that you need, usually either like a needle minder or a threader, a non-needlepoint accessory. I love, love, love them, and I hope she continues to do it like after this year. I hope it's not just like a 1-year thing because I friggin' love it. Penny Lynn has done some fire collaborations recently, like the Eloise stuff, the Roller Rabbit stuff, and I'm sure she's gonna continue to like crank out some really great stuff. Casey and Designers definitely has some cool stuff, like Pearly Gates does a lot of pretty stuff. Yeah, I mean, I really stitch from like a lot of different designers. Anything with like a wiener dog, anything with like a sweet treat. I love when I go and visit places to pick up a canvas like about that area. Everyone makes fun of me because I love an exclusive canvas or something that's like limited edition, you can only get at that place. Like, say less, I'm gonna buy it. Oh, painted or printed canvas. Obviously painted, but I do think the printing technology is getting a lot better. My only complaint with the printing is like I don't want to do an open stitch on a printed canvas because I don't really like seeing like the printed through it. I'd rather see like the paint through it. Ornament, stand-up, stocking, or pillow. I think ornament or stand-up. I actually like finishing stand-ups. I think it's pretty fun. But I think ornaments are my number one because they're so quick and fun, and like I feel like I can be creative. My needlepoint unpopular opinion. I don't know if I have an unpopular opinion. I think just like stitch what you want, and like you don't have to follow the rules, and just do what makes you happy. And if you want to have 20 whips, have 20 whips. If you want to buy 20 canvases and not stitch one of them, then like do it. Do whatever makes your heart happy. And I think everyone just needs to like be happy for each other. And you know, we're all doing this for the love of needlepoint and the love of like being creative and having a hobby, and it's supposed to be fun. And I think if it's getting like negative or not fun, then like we need to stop listening to other people. What's one thing you wish when you knew, or when you started? I don't know. I mean, obviously I wish I knew that it was going to be as big of a hobby as it has become, because I think earlier on I bought some canvases that maybe I wouldn't have bought if I knew that needlepoint was going to get more popular and like more and more and more designs were going to be coming out. Because I think I saw something and I was like, oh, I'm never going to see like a bookshop canvas again, and like now there are millions of them. So maybe that, but like nobody has a crystal ball, so. All right, and then just to show you what I was stitching, working on, I don't even know if you can see that, but it's the round from the Penny Lynn Resort Box. And I'm using, what is it called? Oh, it starts with a W. Is it watercolors? No, water lilies, something like that. Also, I did get bitten by mosquitoes, so that sucks. I need to go put something on that so I don't scratch it and ruin my week. But thank you for watching. If you have any other questions, I'd be happy to answer them down below. And I'm just so thankful for my needlepoint community and my YouTube community. And I hope to continue to, make vlogs and make videos that people want to see. So thanks, guys.